love you.
All right, I'm also paying information. You know where Kenny the Jet Smith at?
Yes, I got Kenny too. I know exactly where he's at.
Okay, now this one right here gets you going to I'm gonna give you some motherfucking big dollars. Do you know where Ernie Johnson is at?
Ooh, let me work on that one right quick. That's a tough one.
Alright, and remember, I'm paying top dollar for all that information. Love you, boy. Hey, don't tell nobody.
Alright, one.
Alright,
Shannon Sharpe is no longer staying silent. He's now openly addressing Shaquille O'Neal. However, this isn't merely a dispute over basketball, it's far more complex, deeply rooted, and highly personal.
Back in the chat?
No, he on IG. I've never professed. I've never professed that I was as great as Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say,
yes, sir,
I got what I got
mm-hmm.
because I worked my ass off. Now,
yes,
Shaq has been the one to say it. That he didn't work as hard, he didn't train as hard, he didn't eat as well as he should have.
Right.
Shaq is the one that anytime someone wins an MVP, he talks about how he should have been the MVP over Steve.
Speculation is growing that Shaq may have caught Shannon off guard by filing a substantial $50 million lawsuit, just as Shannon was nearing completion of a significant $100 million agreement with ESPN. The timing has attracted a lot of attention. Many observers believe this lawsuit didn't surface randomly. It landed precisely when Shannon was on the verge of finalizing the deal, forcing him to withdraw at the last minute. Such precise timing feels unlikely to be accidental. Some suggest that Shaq might be executing a deliberate, long-term strategy for retaliation. The two have been exchanging subtle jabs for quite some time.
That man said he'll give you a chance.
You think Jay-Z or
probably not a good time right now.
You're silly, man. You're silly. You're silly, man. You're silly, man.
Go see if you can fix the wall, will you, Shaq?
Fix the wall, man.
Yeah. Here, back here.
Fix the wall,
I'll go.
man.
See if I can fix the wall.
My point was
Too soon, Kenny.
My point was.
Alright, and remember, I'm paying top dollar for all that information. Love you, boy. Hey, don't tell nobody.
Alright, one.
Alright, go.
Now, it appears Shaq could be working discreetly behind the scenes, further complicating matters. Reports indicate there's allegedly leaked audio in which Shaquille is heard instructing others to gather information on Shannon, aiming to expose damaging details from his past. Rumors suggest he may have discovered something significant, potentially harmful to Shannon's reputation. But that's only part of the issue. The lawsuit is said to involve a woman named Gabriella Zika. However, sources claim she's not the first individual allegedly drawn into this elaborate situation by Shaq. There was reportedly a previous case where Shaq's name surfaced as well. The entire scenario seems increasingly like a well-planned setup, with Shannon possibly walking straight into it. Multiple reports are beginning to emerge, offering a concerning perspective on the situation.
You well enough.
You in a Shaq situation, right? Mm-hmm. He came out with a diss track, and I heard your response to it, but his was more, there's another situation. The passion of whatever, and I believe you caught it straight, because I don't think you was, in essence, talking about it more so than Gilbert. You did, and then it spun to that. Have you guys talked?
We haven't. Shaq feels the way he feels, and he's perfectly fine to feel that way. I said what I said. I still think Shaq is a phenomenal basketball player, even though, he minimized my career. I'm fine.
This is where the situation intensifies. Enter Matt Barnes. In early 2022, Barnes was actively involved in the sports scene. Out of nowhere, an audio clip started spreading quickly. In this alleged recording, Matt is heard discussing how Shaq was prepared to invest significant money to uncover damaging information about Shannon Sharpe. This wasn't mere speculation. Substantial amounts were reportedly being offered, managed quietly behind the scenes. The exact source of the audio remains uncertain. Some say it was leaked from a private discussion. Others believe it might have been captured during a podcast or unintentionally recorded by a live microphone. Regardless of its origin, there's little dispute that Matt Barnes is the voice in the recording. Matt's remarks carried weight. He wasn't implying that Shaq held a minor grudge over MVP debates. Instead, he suggested Shaq was willing to go to great lengths to undermine Shannon. Looking at the timeline, the events appear connected. It all circles back to the MVP controversy involving Nikola Jokic. Shannon had implied that Shaq's reaction was driven by jealousy, and Shaq didn't seem to take that accusation lightly. But instead of addressing it openly as others might, Shaq chose a different path, one that was measured, quiet, and methodical. Following the MVP incident, things seemed to settle publicly. There were no further public statements, interviews, or social media exchanges. Many believed any conflict had been resolved. However, behind the scenes, reports indicate that Shaq had already begun executing his plan, gathering information discreetly and waiting for the right moment to act, with Shannon's career on a fast track, including podcast deals, appearances with high-profile guests, and negotiations for a potential $100 million contract with ESPN. It's reasonable to believe Shaq opted for a silent strategy, applying behind-the-scenes pressure without attracting public scrutiny. But the complexity of the situation doesn't end there. For anyone still questioning Shaq's potential role, the next development adds even more layers to the story. A viral TMZ video emerged, and this wasn't just random footage. It showed Shannon Sharpe interacting closely with a fan at an event. Shannon has always been approachable, charismatic, friendly, and comfortable around fans, especially women, often seen chatting with white women. This behavior isn't unusual for him. However, this particular clip seemed almost too well-timed. Shannon is seen smiling, leaning in, and appearing relaxed. But once the video spread online, speculation quickly followed. People began to question the circumstances, suspecting there might be more to the encounter. The timing and setting led many to believe it could have been deliberately arranged. Not long after the clip gained attention, the same woman seen with Shannon became directly involved in the situation. Her name, Gabriella Zika, quietly started being mentioned in connection with the $50 million lawsuit. Realistically, TMZ doesn't just stumble upon these moments. Someone provides them with tips, directs their cameras, and ensures that the footage reaches the public. If this was part of a planned setup, it was executed with precision. The opportunity was presented, and Shannon, simply behaving as he normally does, may have unintentionally stepped right into it. That brief interaction on video might have supplied Shaq with the material he needed to advance the matter behind the scenes. Now, let's examine this further. The woman at the center of this legal battle is Gabriella Zika. She's filed a lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe, demanding an extraordinary $50 million. Representing her is Tony Busby, a name that carries significant weight. Busby is the same attorney who represented the women involved in the Deshaun Watson case and has previously challenged Jay-Z. When Busby takes on a case, it signals a serious legal battle ahead. He isn't after quick settlements, but focuses on reputational consequences. So, what exactly are Gabriella's accusations? She alleges that Shannon forced himself on her, physically assaulted her, and subjected her to emotional and psychological abuse, causing significant trauma, stress, and mental health issues. These are serious and graphic charges. The situation escalated further when reports surfaced that Busby had obtained audio recordings, which he claimed support Gabriella's version of events. This development drew even more public attention. Shannon, however, has not stayed quiet. He responded quickly and firmly, stating, "Play the full 10-minute recording, not just selected clips." His response shows confidence that the complete recording presents a different picture and that the edited portions misrepresent the full context. He maintains that Gabriella participated willingly and accuses the media of releasing selective audio segments to portray him negatively. The situation grew even more complex as additional details emerged. Leaked text messages, allegedly exchanged between Shannon and Gabriella, began circulating online. These messages contained discussions of explicit role-play scenarios, including highly controversial topics such as race play. For those unfamiliar, this is a highly sensitive and disturbing subject that demands careful consideration. It's also worth noting that Shannon Sharpe has not completely hidden his unconventional interests. Back in 2023, while co-hosting the Nightcap podcast with Chad Okosenko, he openly talked about his preferences. In one episode, they discussed actress Yvonne Orji, the well-known star from Insecure, and even more recently.
Now, what you think about that?
I'm looking for a center. I'm looking for a center. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you
Miss Nasty B?
umbrella?
Miss Nasty?
Yeah, I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking
No?
straight and narrow.
Oh, come on.
Nah,
So,
I want to see him.
listen, I thought we
What I'm looking for.
The conversation shifted to Yvonne Orji, the host of a balloon challenge show on Netflix. Yvonne has openly spoken about her choice to remain celibate until marriage, a decision she takes pride in. Chad suggested she might be a good match for Shannon. Shannon laughed and replied, "Yeah, now I'm looking for a sinner." Without hesitation, he then brought up adult film star Miss B Nasty. He made it clear that he wasn't interested in someone with a traditional lifestyle, but rather someone with a more adventurous side. Shannon expressed his preferences openly and confidently. While no one is condemning his personal choices, it's evident that Shannon has consistently been upfront about his lifestyle, whether through flirtatious comments, bold humor about women, or his public displays of interest. Discretion has never really been his approach. So, with Gabriella's lawsuit now drawing attention to serious accusations, it's reasonable to acknowledge that this situation didn't emerge entirely unexpectedly. Shannon has openly shared his attitudes and behavior, which many previously dismissed as harmless or humorous, but the situation becomes even more complex. Gabriella may not be the only individual connected to what some suggest could be a broader effort against Shannon. Reports mention another case where Shaq's name surfaces involving Michelle Evans. Many have overlooked Michelle, but back in 2023, she filed a lawsuit against Shannon in New York, nearly 2 years before Gabriella's allegations emerged. Technically, Michelle's case came first. Her accusations were also serious. According to court documents obtained by People magazine, Michelle represented herself without a high-profile attorney and presented her story directly. Michelle claimed she was involved in a long-term relationship with Shannon that lasted nearly 10 years, ending around 2010, reportedly due to his infidelity. After their breakup, she came forward with highly disturbing allegations. What's surprising is how little attention her case received at the time. It largely went unnoticed. Now, with renewed focus on Shannon, many are drawing comparisons between her claims and Gabriella's. Michelle Evans presented serious accusations, stating that after one of their major arguments, Shannon allegedly demanded intimacy. When she refused, she described events that were both graphic and disturbing. According to her, Shannon forced her to the ground, made her kneel, and engaged in non-consensual oral acts. She said she repeatedly refused, but Shannon continued. The situation allegedly escalated when he threw her onto the bed and forced himself on her. She claims he told her, "I'm going to make it so no other man will want you." This statement quickly circulated online, raising serious concerns. To clarify, Michelle isn't pursuing assault charges in the strict legal sense. Instead, she alleges that Shannon threatened her, attempted to harm her career, and caused her severe emotional distress. Following her accusations, she reports facing intense backlash, with many online accusing her of lying, attacking her credibility, and trying to discredit her completely. Shannon has denied all of Michelle's allegations, just as he has previously denied similar claims. However, when such accusations continue to surface, public perception often begins to shift. While one accusation might seem isolated, multiple similar claims raise significant concerns. With 3 women now making related allegations, many observers are starting to see a troubling pattern. Meanwhile, attention has quietly shifted to another issue that has lingered since Gabriella's case became public: the widely discussed Diddy parties. To be clear, Shannon has publicly stated that he has never attended Diddy's parties or engaged in any of the alleged wild Hollywood lifestyles often associated with them. He has made it clear that he stays away from what he describes as that freaky cult-like Hollywood energy.
Oh my God. You ever was at a Diddy party?
No,
Never?
I ain't never been invited. I ain't that big. I mean, maybe if I was in the position that I'm in now, but back then, no. I don't get invited to no parties, bro. Plus, I'm a homebody.
Do you like partying or no? Nah, yeah. I feel
I just
that.
like to be to myself, man.
I feel that.
You know.
I feel that.
However, when reviewing the lawsuits, text messages, and claims of controlling and manipulative behavior, the similarities to the allegations involving Diddy become difficult to overlook. These include accusations of emotional control, power dynamics, coercion, threats, and silencing tactics. It's not just fans noticing these patterns, others within the industry are beginning to draw the same connections. Consider the recent on-stage moment when private conversations between Jay-Z and Diddy were mentioned. Shaquille O'Neal was present and his reaction stood out, he quietly stood up and left the stage without comment. That silent departure raised questions, leading many to speculate that Shaq might have knowledge he has not made public. Although Shaq never mentioned Shannon directly, his behavior suggested an awareness of individuals who present one image publicly while living differently in private. For years, Shannon Sharpe has built a public persona as a family-oriented figure, frequently quoting scripture and offering motivational messages. Yet, these ongoing lawsuits are beginning to challenge that image, exposing a different side. Sources close to the situation suggest Shannon believes Shaq is carefully maneuvering behind the scenes. Publicly, Shaq maintains a friendly demeanor, joking and laughing, but privately, he may be strategically applying pressure as Shannon's situation worsens. Meanwhile, Shaq remains active on social media, seemingly undisturbed, even poking fun at the leak Matt Barnes recording. A meme circulated reading, "Damn, I got caught again. I need that info. I'm paying to dollars." At the same time, Shannon's situation continues to deteriorate. His reputation has suffered significantly. His podcast Without Joe struggles to sustain his audience. His television appearances are becoming less frequent, and sponsorship opportunities are beginning to disappear. Years of hard work and success are now under serious threat. What's more, the more Shannon defends himself, the more the controversy grows. Each response seems to bring new leaks, additional text messages, recordings, and controversies. Instead of easing the pressure, his public statements seem to fuel further scrutiny. Meanwhile, Shaq appears completely unaffected. He continues posting lighthearted content, joking online, and seemingly staying far removed from the controversy altogether. Now, the real questions arise: is Shannon Sharpe being unfairly targeted? Or is Shaq quietly pulling strings behind the scenes while maintaining his innocent public image? Most importantly, can Shannon recover from this, or is his career and legacy at serious risk? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you stay updated. This story is far from over. See you in the next one.